think we're going to stand. Is our mic on? All right, I guess we got everybody back from break for you,
Great.
Andy.
Great.
So it's an honor to be here with my old friend Andy, founder, CEO of Fun Plus. Andy is probably one of the best kept secrets in gaming because there's not much known about Fun Plus and your private company and all that, but maybe it'd be great for the audience if you could give a little bit of introduction to yourself and Fun Plus because you've been in the business for a long time.
Yeah.
Because in the morning we've heard all this doom and gloom, gaming is dead. I know they tried to put a spin on it in the end that maybe wasn't dead, but so we need to bring up the,
hype, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you. It's great honor to be here. And also that's my first time in Istanbul, and great. I think I mean this is my 19th year in game industry. I started my company 14 years ago in 2010. We started doing simulation games and like family fun and this kind of things, and then in 2015 we started to really work on strategy games, and we also sold one for our business called Central Games, and I mean it's a long way for us. We have offices in different places. We actually have right now all headquartered in Switzerland, and we have some publishing in Barcelona. We doing some stuff in Lisbon as well. So Europe is kind of it's a very important place for the company, and we have a lot of people as well in Asia as well. We're doing a lot of development in Beijing, Shanghai. So I mean the company has. We scaled the company quite a bit in the last few years before COVID, and we have around 2,000 people across globally. And I definitely hope. I believe gaming is always thriving. I built my company actually when people say social is dead.
Yes.
Right. I built the company in 2010, and after the booming of Zynga, and then people just all talking about social is dead, and then we actually built a company. We built the first game called Family Fun. It's a social game, and it's becoming very popular. It actually used to be very popular in Turkey as well.
Yeah, but I think Peak published it here, right?
Yeah. That's their. So.
So again, you've been in the business for a long time, done super well. We'll talk a little bit about how the market is changing. We heard this morning there's a lot of challenges. I think the shittiest chart was about strategy games, which is where,
that's the company we sold off.
So what's motivating you? What's keeping you, going and thriving so that we can be, inspiring the next?
Yeah, I think I think I just like maybe most of the people here. I think making games to me it's kind of very challenging, but also very fun job, right? It's kind of like two sides makes me feel motivated, and also I think I believe the gaming are really meaningful for the host, like for the people playing it, and also for the society. I mean that's. I myself felt working in game industry is proud and also very meaningful. So these two things are the major things for me to really want to dedicate it 10 years or 20 years in gaming. So I think, it's exciting and also proud. I think these two things.
And within strategy games, what has changed? Because again, you historically think about this being very kind of, a smaller segment or whale-driven versus maybe some of the other games we've talked about here. So how has that changed for you over the years? And are you going to continue in that, or are you launching other genres?
Yeah, I think, there's few changes in last few years. one very obvious change is IDFA.
Yeah.
Right. I think strategy game genre. I think we. The whole genre right now. People try to shift him from a more core audience to more broad audience, right? And that means the game experience need to be very different. So people in the morning talk about the hybrid experience. That's a very proven approach right now because hybrid approach is be able to proven to onboarding other genres users into the social, like a SLG, 4X, this kind of social core, right? And some companies already really successful, both in simulation, like Wild Survival, like some of the recent games, like Lost War, right? And
yep.
I think they're onboarding other people from tower defense and the running mechanics as well from publishing. So I think this is a big trend to onboarding more casual and more broad audience into this core genre. We're also working on that. We have a few games on that. I think the second thing I felt in the morning people talk about IP. I felt IP is definitely something interesting. Mm-hmm. Some of the IPs not explored, and if you actually can find them and you can build a great experience with them, it's very interesting. So we have a game coming this year. We already announced it's DC IP. It's kind of interesting for us as well.
Is this the first time you're working with IP?
Yeah, it's kind of. Yeah. Yes. The full game, yes. Yeah.
So you're looking at like transmedia opportunities as well?
Yeah, we are. Yes, we're already doing. I think there's a huge opportunity in cross-platform as well, because we see our PC revenue also start to grow a little bit. So I think. Can
you talk a little bit more about that? Your cross-platform strategy?
Yeah, I think cross-platform is actually. Like a mobile only, you definitely want to onboarding broad audience, right? But that's a huge drive of the mobile, right? And they have few billion users. Another direction is you actually can create games multi-platform. In that way, you can not just rely on the performance marketing, because that's kind of something good and bad about the mobile, right? And I think. So you can build the games more optimized for core audience, and then you actually use this kind of like holistic marketing to really get people in mobile as well to play as well. So I think this is just two very different strategy. I think in the company we are building right now, we have a lot of resource, so we are doing these two approach at the same time in different games.
So we heard this morning again a lot of predictions and some potential challenges again for this year. For you personally and for Fun Plus, how are you seeing kind of the market right now and this year? Maybe next few years, maybe a little too far to look, but in the near medium term, how are you seeing things changing?
Yeah. The facts are. Definitely in the morning, people already talk about the facts, right? Like a short form video, like a medium. They are taking people's time, right? And gaming or fighting in that kind of time measurement. I think in my understanding is, I still very positive in gaming because, as I said, I founded the company when people say social is dead, and so I always very optimistic about this industry, and also like really it's about like a tactically for each company how to navigate this kind of transition period, right? Grow in mobile, grow in cross-platform, and really leverage AI. People talk a lot, right? So I think I felt for each company, it's really, really about tactical things. So other than that, I felt I'm very optimistic. I also felt it's good timing for startup because usually when the industry is, people say it's dead and it's good time, right? And because if everyone wants...
Just need to find the money, but yeah.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's my experience. I felt the startup is you are successful not because you have a lot of money.
Sure.
I mean, from beginning, right? So that's just my understanding, I think.
So I thought we'd get away without mentioning AI, but since you've mentioned it, is that something you guys are using, or just experimenting, or how do you see that in your company?
Yeah, we definitely learning because we have organization has a lot of people, so we kind of really need to really focus on the leveraging the technology to really focus on the efficiency, right? I think AI is, to me, I think it's very transformative because I can see engagement like in because we are other than work in SOG, we're also building RPG games. Mm-hmm. Like for example, if I look at early application like Character.ai, right? I think the time people spending on the Character.ai is really, really amazing. They are spending 2 hours per day. And also their MAU are growing really fast. So to me, like a Character.ai is kind of like originated from gaming, right? Especially in Asia, people know that people play RPGs. They build the emotional connection with characters. They do cosplay, right? I think Character.ai is kind of give me a big inspiration, like how AI really can make something is very interesting, but also make the interaction is new, novel, but also engaging. So I think I'm very excited about AI for both efficiency and also innovation. Yeah.
So how's life changed for you the most, Andy? Starting way back when, it's like a few people to now, 2,000 people. Hopefully, we have studios here that get to that, scale as well. So,
yes.
What's some cool, good challenges to talk about, or how do you spend your time now versus?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the last 14 years of building companies, I mean, I would say it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I think I work with a lot of people. I also know a lot of amazing people in this industry. I felt like everything is possible in gaming industry, right? So for me, it's personally, I think my biggest learning is, as I mentioned before, number one is I don't think a startup I don't think money is the success factor of the startup, right? You need enough some resources, but like building a really great product with very small limited resource is the power of the startup, right? I think for me as well, I try to build this kind of culture and that kind of thing in the company of 2,000 people as well. So that's I spend a lot of time on that. We are making some progress, but of course it's not as easy as like we started a company with 30 or 50 people. Yeah. But I think that's I spend a lot of time. I felt it's also very fun. Like if I can make that really happen in the big organization, I felt it's interesting. Yeah.
So are you going, given your success, the business, obviously is doing very nicely, you're very profitable. Are you looking, I think you've made an acquisition recently as well, but are you going to look at doing investments and an M&A, hopefully obviously in the Turkish market as well? Or is that not part of your, especially as the VC money dries up and other strategics we see are more open to taking even minority stakes? Is that something you're going to look to do?
I think I think in the long run, I think we are thinking about that. We definitely think about investment and acquisition in the long run. I think this year we kind of because we have so much launches.
Sure.
Because in the last 3 or 4 years we just scaled so much. This year will be a focus year for us to launch 3 or 4 products from our side. I think in the long run, I think we definitely felt acquisition and the investment is a very, very important factor for the company in the growth stage. It's also very healthy for the ecosystem as well. Yeah.
So again, we'd love to have you do some activity in Turkey. Any advice to some of the founders here who, again, I'm sure are very familiar with all the challenges. They live through that daily. But as you know, I don't know if you would still start a mobile games company today yourself. But any piece of advice for them?
Yeah, I'm here to learn. So I felt the community is full of the energy and the enthusiastic. So I already learned a lot from that because I felt that's the most important thing for gaming. The passion and the enthusiastic from developers, right? I don't think I have too much to share because there's so many successful companies in Turkey already globally, and definitely I think we want to learn more here.
Well, we hope to see you make some investments or acquisitions here as well. But thank you for taking the time, and it's always a pleasure. Thank you, everyone.